Hi, everyone. So you're trying to figure out what sectionalism is all about, right? Sectionalism. Well, sectionalism was occurring in the United States, say, between 1800 and 1850, just before the Civil War. And I hate to tell you this, but I have a terrible ability to draw. But let's imagine that's the map of the United States at the time. This is the North right here. This is the South, and this is the West. The North has small factories, some industry. The South has large plantations and slavery. And further west, these are people or frontiersmen just trying to take on the West. Okay? Three different sections of the country with three different interests, right? Well, as a result, there was also something else, and that is there were certain states that were free, and there were certain states that had slavery, free versus slave states. So what happened as a result of that? What happened as a result of that came a big debate over the balance of power in Congress. Why do I say that? Well, because of the fact is that there were certain people representing certain factions. The balance of power was being impacted by the sectionalism that was going on. Some people were representing the slave states, and some were representing the free states. So whenever Missouri wanted to come in as a slave state, that created an issue because at the time there were 11 states that were free, 11 states that were slave. If Missouri comes in as a slave state, that tips the balance of power. So what do? Come up with a compromise of 1820, where they brought Missouri in as a slave state, and they brought in Maine, that territory in the Northeast, where up there in the North, they brought that in as a free state. Maine is free, Missouri as slave, therefore the balance of power remained the same. Well, that was good for a time. But then you gotta remember, there's people moving west. You had the gold rush, you had the Mexican-American War, we had gained territory from Mexico. So what happens? The gold rush had people going west, and they wanted nothing to do with slavery. And there were other parts that had debates about it. So what did they decide? Well, there was something called the Compromise of 1850. The Compromise of 1850 was where they brought in California as a free state. They also left the issue alone in the Southwest, but they brought in the concept of popular sovereignty. That's right, popular sovereignty. What's that? That's where the people who were in the territory could vote on it. They could decide for themselves they wanted free versus slave. Now, that sounded good at first, but what that did was that caused the people who were pro-slavery to rush in and try to influence things. It also caused the people who were anti-slavery to rush in and try to deal with things. Well, Kansas got in the middle of it all. The territory of Kansas. It became known as Bloody Kansas. Why? Because people started to fight over the issue in that state. Bloody Kansas was where a lot of fighting was taking place. One man in particular was known for his, well, he would raid areas in order to get slaves to be free. His name, John Brown. He was famous for his John Brown raids, especially the Harper's Ferry raid. Okay? So, as you can see, this all was about the fact that you had three different sections of the country. Sectionalism was dividing the country by economy, by social, and by the fact that the North wanted no slavery, the South wanted slavery, and the West was trying to get things going on their own. sectionalism was creating a lot of havoc in the country. And as a result, there's these compromises and something called popular sovereignty that started to come about. And this is all happening just before the Civil War. So lots going on, folks. A lot of stuff. Now, I hope that helps you a little bit. Now, that awesome teacher of yours is coming. Later.